Well, welcome back, my friends, to a first ever rendition on Choir Boys Outdoors. Man, we've reviewed hundreds, well, shit, thousands of knives at this point, but I've never had a knives by hand on the channel. I am super stoked. You see a beautiful leather sheath there, 5160 blade steel rosewood handles, awesome fit. We're going to talk all about it. I've got to do a huge shout out, man, to Timbo 437. I tagged him in the title. Timbo, dude, thank you for your patience. Thank you for sending. This may be one of the most favorite knives you've ever sent for me to review, brother. And that's the God's honest truth. And I appreciate you being patient with me. Now, let me just jump into this. Guys, there was a time in this country where 22 bets a day took their own lives. Stats are everywhere. We're coming off a weekend. I say it all the time. The actual number, guys, if you really study this stuff, is anywhere between 15 and 29, which is an absolute travesty in this country. That's why here on this channel, we focus on the number 0. Anything over 0 is simply unacceptable. And bets, man, we love you. You have a place here. That's all that means. We back the blue over here. We support Leo. That gets misconstrued sometimes. That has nothing to do with the first cause. I have 3 causes. This is my second. There's a lot of reasons for it that I've covered and covered and covered. If you're new here, just know this. I don't ask you to support anything that I do. These are just things that are on my heart. How do you do it, Scab? Well, I don't break the damn law. I used to all the time. I don't anymore. I try not to. And if I do, because I mess up, I'm human, I accept responsibility. And finally, in this part, this is me. If you are an addict, never quit quitting. I am. I'm not perfect. I don't try to be. It's a fight daily. If you've followed this channel for any length of time, you know that. You know, I've been very upfront about that. That being said, again, guys, those are my causes. I ask no one to support them. I respect your opinion. I ask you to respect mine. And if you don't, you ain't got to watch. There you go. All right, back to the knives by hand. Now, I don't know if this model has a name. If it does, Timbo, please put it in. I can tell you what it should be. Badass knife. I can tell you that from the rip. Now, I'm going to give you some final thoughts at the end. I've started doing that. But let me give you some measurements on this. You see the balance point there? The handle. I can't tell you a favorite part of this knife. I really can't, because it fits my hand perfectly. Let's just jump into the specs. That's what you guys love, I know. The overall length on this Monster is 13 7/8. The blade length is 8 inches. The cutting edge is 7 inches. The blade width, not the thickness, the width is 2 inches. So it is a slicing machine. Good for food processing, wood processing, you name it, cutting the shit out of somebody, whatever, you know, it is. It's 1/4 inch blade stock. The handle is right at 5, I'm going to say 5 7/8. The inner grip, the all-important inner grip is 4 1/8, which is perfect. Any hand in the world can grab that. The handle thickness, the thickness across the back of the handle is right at 3/4 inches. At its widest point, the handle is 1 3/8 inches. At its narrowest point at the bottom, it's 1 1/4 inches. So it has about a 1/8 inch taper. You can feel it, and man, it feels good as we're stabbing here. You can see that it has almost a double choil, which serves as a guard. Very good grip. I live in Florida. Humidity's insane. I sweat profusely. No slippage on this knife. You can see we did the John Peters stab test. That's 1 inch tire tread. And guys, look, if you're new and you're like, man, you did this the other day, I do it every day. This is the way that we demonstrate knives. Is it the best? Well, it's the best for us. Why? Because I try to show you a consistent set of demonstrations. They're not tests. We don't do shit on this channel that's scientific. If you followed me for a while, you know that. But I like to do it because you can watch several big knives. We are a big knife channel. We do folders, we do some of everything, but primarily we like big beasts on this channel. And I'm going to tell you this knife 1000% quantifies as that. It's got to be in the top 5 sharpest knives I've ever demonstrated. I don't know if that's Timbo's edge or Knives by Hand's edge, but I can tell you this, that throughout everything we did, it held up amazingly well. I would definitely carry this. I would hunt with it, fish with it, camp with it, EDC it. It looks huge, right? It even looks big like when I hold it, but I'm telling you guys, however heavy you think it is, Cut that in half. This is one of the best, most well-balanced knives I've ever reviewed. I'm excited to kind of dive into knives by hand. I'm not sure where this one was made. I know he started off having them made in Nepal. I don't know if they're still made there. I don't know a lot about the company. If you're new and you're like, Scab, you should have researched, here's the deal. I don't do any research until I completely do my demonstration review, whatever you call it. I do that because I like to try to figure out what the designer, what the maker was thinking. I don't like being influenced. Now, once this is posted, I'll go back and I'll start doing some research and probably feel like a dumbass because there's a lot of stuff I should have known. But I'll tell you this. This knife, and basically, again, guys, what we do is just a quick rundown, right? I know this isn't a new knife. I know it's not. It came from Timbo, so it's seen use. That's why I say I guarantee it's probably his edge. It's got his sharpness level to it. But that's even an even better testament. 5160 is a high carbon steel that's going to be easy to sharpen in the field. It's got a 90-degree spine, so you can strike a ferro rod. I will say this, the grip is insanely comfortable, whether you're in that reverse stabbing grip or you're in the fencing grip here or just a straight hammer grip. No matter how you grip it, the knife is insanely comfortable. And it's a workhorse. The reason that I bring up the weight, and you'll probably hear me now, we're going against the grain here, not the best way, but we wanted to put a little pressure on the edge. You keep hearing me mention the weight, or I'm going to mention the weight because it's just, I mean, it's like an extension of the hand. And this is the first one I've ever used. A lot of these knives that you see me use or demonstrate, I've used something similar or the same company, etc. This is a brand new experience for me. And again, if you are new or anything like that, if you're not used to the narration, turn it off and just watch the knife work. I'm using the dangler option here. The first time I showed you, I just used the leather portion. The second time I wanted to use the dangler. Both are very comfortable. Both I could carry and ride easily. And again, this thing is insanely light to carry. It looks huge, but just as far as the carry, you barely know it's there. As far as using it, barely know it's there. Again, I put a couple hours of actual use and work into the demonstration, and at no point did I get tired, fatigued, any. I could use this knife all day. Right here, we're just doing an old dried tree limb, and then we're going to do some regular batoning. I do want to say this, guys. When you guys see me batoning, if I'm mentioning a fire or something like that, I do want to kind of, I talked to my guy Morton today, I do want to kind of rectify this. Basically, what you guys are seeing me doing is demonstrating the knife. And then if you talk about me splitting wood for kindling or something like, or splitting wood for a fire, I'm talking about kindling and tinder. I keep a bunch of it bundled up. That way, if I want to do a day hike or if I go out for an overnight camp, I have it there and I have it prepped, okay? Normally, building a regular fire, I want to use some bigger logs that are going to burn through the night, and I totally understand that. I want to thank Morton. He's the one that pointed that out. I want to use bigger logs throughout the night, but I do try to make a bunch of kindling and tinder and things like that and keep it with me. It just kind of keeps the foraging down when I'm out there. And the truth is, whatever kind of wood this is right here, son, it burns as hot, if not better, than fat wood. So I don't have to use a lot. If my fire dies down throughout the night and I wake up chilly, I can throw a couple of sticks on there, and man, before you know it, that thing is roaring. This is why I say I'm the world's worst batoner, guys. It's coming up right here. Let's all watch old Scab batoning balling. There he is. Attaboy hands. I almost edited that out, and I thought, I ain't going to do that shit. Everybody needs to see that ain't nothing perfect around here, and we just keep on rolling. You keep moving forward. And this size log right there is what I would burn through the night. Now, because it's this particular type of wood, I'm going to probably quarter it, stack it, and use it, and do just as soon as it hits the 60-degree mark, we'll be out there camping out. Guys, I'm about to turn it over to myself for some final thoughts. I would say this again. Huge shout out to Timbo 437. That's literally his channel name. Timbo 437. Thank you, my brother, so much. I am impressed beyond words with this knife. Not only the sharpness, but just how easy it is to handle. We got the fencing grip there. So thank you. Guys, go over to Timbo 437. hit him up, hook him up with a subscription, a like, a comment, tell him Scab sent you. Listen, let's just watch this thing work. I'm going to turn it over to myself. I love y'all. We'll see you in the next clip. All right, guys, here's the deal. Let me give you a couple final thoughts on this thing. First, again, to Timbo437. Brother, thank you so much for letting me review this. The first knives by hand I've ever held. Here's the deal. See how this tapers down here? See if we can get a better look. I got to get a little better equipment. See how it kind of tapers there? Kind of thick to thin. And almost, I'm not going to say a pistol grip, but really, really a great grip there. I love that. The blade, this really might be the sharpest knife, or it's got to be in top 5 that I've ever reviewed. Wicked sharp. The choil is generous. No discomfort there. If I was nitpicking, straight up nitpicking. Now there is a 90-degree spine. I could strike a ferro rod. Again, it's 5160, so it should be pretty easy to sharpen in the field. If I was going to nitpick, see how this is raised just above the rosewood? Can you feel it a little bit? Does it bother me? You know, not really. This down here is rounded and very comfortable. This just doesn't bother me. And remember what I said there, because there'll be fanboys getting all wound up. And I'm not knocking it. I'm saying if I had to find a problem. But you know what does that? You can take a Dremel and smooth that out. So is it an issue? No. If that's the only nitpick I found, son, there ain't nothing wrong with that. Comfortable in hand, easy to maneuver. Again, I like swapping grips just to see how it feels. Great handle, knives by hand. Timbo, thank you, brother. Absolutely love the knife. Would I carry it? Oh my God, yeah, daily. I'm Scab. You're not. I'm gone, son.